On the News 19 bookshelf this morning, Mark Greaney is back for the 14th novel in the Gray Man series, which was recently made into a motion picture starring Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans.
In Midnight Black, Greaney incorporates the latest news on Russia's invasion of Ukraine, including the clandestine wars being fought by both sides all over Europe, writing a classic Cold War type tale with Ukraine at its nexus. He joins us now to talk more about the new book. Mark, thanks so much for being with us. Tell us a little bit more about this installment in the Gray Man series, and ultimately, what's the synopsis there?
Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, this book 14, it's a standalone novel. You don't have to read the first 13 to enjoy it. But it's about my hero, a guy named Court Gentry, who's a former CIA officer. And he's in love with a woman who's a former SVR, which is Russian Foreign Intelligence. But they've both fallen out of favor with their agencies. And Zoya's actually been captured by the Russians. And she is somewhere in Russia, which is the largest country on Earth. And Court is trying to get into Russia, figure out where she is. Meanwhile, she is in a hard labor prison camp right in the center of the country. And so he has to come up with some Confederates and find his way in there. And there's a lot of geopolitics, as you said. It's almost a Cold War era novel with the Russian kind of criminal state that's running things over there.
Oh, sounds so interesting. I can't wait to dive into it. Now, I know you told us it's a standalone and you don't have to read any of the previous novels, but how does this book keep the series strong?
You know, I try to write every book different, but this was at the end of the 13th book when Zoya is taken and off into Russia. I said, well, I guess I know what my next book's about, and I thought that would make it easy. But as I started writing it, I was like, you know, the Gray Man novels have a lot of twists and turns, a lot of geopolitics, and the world is changing very quickly. So, you know, I went out there and did the research that I needed to do to learn as much as I could about what's really happening in the world, and then I twist it all to fictionalize it and make it a fun story about individuals that you really care about, and I think that's what keeps the series strong.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the inspiration behind this book? I mean, I know you have a background in international studies and political science, and you just mentioned it being fiction, but how did that work into, you know, the tale of this book and sort of some of the accuracies that go into, you know, what goes on in Eastern Europe?
Yeah, I always do a lot of research for all my books, and they're about different things, but I think I would probably be doing research on the subject of Russia and Ukraine and sabotage operations throughout Western Europe. I'd be doing that research even if I wasn't writing a book about it. I'm just kind of fascinated with that time. I grew up in the 80s. Tom Clancy was a hero of mine long before I worked with him and wrote several books with him. So I just sort of grew up, you know, in the Cold War. And I think my inspiration for this book, I didn't really know until I started. I knew it was going to be kind of a prison escape story and have some geopolitics, but as I dug into it, I was like, I want this book to really harken back to those books that I loved in the 80s, and that's really drove me on all last year as I was writing it.
Now, we have to know, because you were such a great storyteller, but do you have any specific rituals or habits that help you get into the writing mindset when you're working on your titles?
Well, I like to travel to the locations as much as I possibly can. Russia is a no-go zone right now for Americans. It wouldn't be safe to go there, but fortunately I have been to Russia before, and so I incorporated all that in the novel, in Gorky Park and in the Moscow subway, all locations that I've been to, and still have my notes. I was researching a Clancy Jack Ryan book back then. But as far as other rituals, other than travel, I like to do a lot of on the ground, hands-on research on the equipment that the characters use and the tactics they use. And then I like to write in the morning. That's kind of my thing. It's like as soon as I get up in the morning, I sort of stagger to my little back office and write as long as I can. And that seems to work for me.
Mark, what do you hope readers take away from Midnight Black, and where can they grab a copy and keep up with you in any of your future works?
I mean, enjoyment is the only thing that I'm really trying to give to people. I do believe in what I'm talking about as far as the geopolitics and the, you know, kind of the political machinations of what's going on. But it's a story about these individuals. It's a love story and it's an action story, and there's some psychology in there. And I just want people to have fun with it. And they can pick up my book just about anywhere. I have a website, markgreaneybooks.com, and they can go there and learn more about me if they want to do that.
Fantastic. Well, Mark Greaney, we appreciate you coming on News 19. Congrats on the new book.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.